There are exceptions to the rule that everyone who works at hospice is an angel. I hated Dr. Hannah. This is a text that I sent to my best friend Chris. Ways to kill my dad's pompous asshole doctor who looks like a hillbilly Paul Hollywood, only dead in the eyes. Spike his refillable coffee mug. Poison his hair gel. Mess with the brakes on his Ford F-150. Throttle him with my bare hands. Chris took a screenshot of that text because he liked it so much. Dr. Hannah wore ironed, stonewashed jeans and had no idea, it seemed, that he was a doctor at hospice. He was more like a TikTok chiropractor, you know, like with the tiny microphones that's really there for the content, not so much the people with their cracking bones freaking out underneath him. He just rolled into the room like the dentist after the hygienist does all the work at your regular cleaning. All right, looks good here. See you next time. Pardon? He just had no idea. He just was completely baffled by my anxiety, by my raw nerves, by my gentle request. Like, is there something that we could do for him or like to make him feel better? It's like, what can we expect right now? It's like, what can I do? Like, what can I be doing? And he spoke like someone who was not the fucking doctor in the room and said, well, just enjoy this time with your dad, and maybe you can learn a lesson in all this. And I wanted to say, buddy, in my life, I have learned more lessons than you have drunk Coors Lights, but it will be a cold day in hell before I let some wraparound sunglasses, white New Balance, cell phone holder wearing, not that tall, obviously divorced dad, Friends of Coal, Greenup County, shit-eating grin Republican give me a lesson from a dollar store men's health magazine on the value of service and grief, because fuck you and fuck your gross, almost kind of handsome face in a way that would make you think that you're something, but you're not, Dr. Shithead. But I didn't say any of that. What I did say was, when no one is here, my dad is asking me to kill him, and that's not very enjoyable for either of us. And he talked to me like we were at the DMV, and he said, assisted suicide is illegal in the state of Kentucky, as though that's what I was actually talking about. I begged my dad to ask Dr. Hannah what he had been asking me, and my dad croaked out, how long? Looking as small and as vulnerable as I had ever seen him. And Dr. Hannah answered like a hostess at Applebee's, well, you hung on longer than I thought you would, so I don't think it'll be long now. I tried again to explain the radical concept to Dr. Hannah that there is more than one kind of pain, and someone who is asking to die is not in pain. My dad is a known liar, and he would prefer to suffer in silence than ask for anything, and because he is scared that if he takes something now, it won't work as well when things get worse. And Dr. Hannah said, well, we'll just keep asking him, and maybe one day it'll be so bad, he'll tell us the truth. Dr. Hannah, there is more than one kind of pain, and it is a family tradition to suffer in silence, and it may be illegal to have assisted suicide in the state of Kentucky, but it's probably also illegal to punch a hospice doctor square in the mouth, and that's looking more and more likely every minute. And you know what? Maybe the reason that I am so upset is because what you were accusing me of is actually true. I would love to give him a hot shot, as you call it. It's what he's been begging me to do with what little voice he has left. And if I could just do this one thing, if I could do this thing for him, he would just be so proud of me. But I can't do it because I don't love him enough to kill him. Now, would you please do something about your erect nipples in that tacky Under Armour shirt, because hospice is supposed to be about dignity, for Christ's sake. I didn't say any of that. Dr. Hannah said, well, we'll just keep asking him, and maybe one day it'll get bad enough that he'll tell the truth. And I said nothing. I let him walk out of the room, and I made sure that he was out of the hallway before I lied to my dad and said, oh, I'm fine. And I choked all the way to the pretty little non-denominational chapel and sobbed my guts out. And the hospice angels, they were so good to me. They patted me and they hugged me and they brought me tissues because, you see, they all loved my dad because he was polite and he was complimentary and he was funny. They were like his bank teller girlfriends, only better. And early on, one of the nurses said to me, "You're daddy's girl, ain't you? He's a real, real good man. I can tell." And I made my face look something like a smile because they meant so well. And the day with Dr. Hannah, the nurse who did my dad's original hospice intake at the nursing home was there, and she understood, and she told me she was gonna go talk to Dr. Hannah and see what she could do. And when she came back, her face was carefully constructed as she let me know that she was not able to make any headway on getting my dad on scheduled meds. And I took a break from my own despair to wonder how many times in her career had she been overruled by a cocksure asshole. When Angela and Teresa, the archangels, arrived for their night shift, I cried to Angela and she took my face in her hands and she said, "I'm going to take care of him." And I knew I could believe her. She looked at the tension in his face and the constant gripping of his hands and said, "See, that is pain. And I'm going to make them see that that's pain. Now you go home, you get some rest, and in the morning, Dr. Jones is going to be on service and he's going to fix it." And so I came back in a couple hours with the sunrise, and Angela met me at the desk. And she was mad. Oh, she was mad. And she told me inside information that should have made me mad too, but she was mad enough for the both of us. So I let her have that. And she told me that the good news was that she had finally convinced a nurse to give my dad something, and he was resting comfortably. And for me to just wait because Dr. Jones was coming. And so she hugged me, and I sat, and I waited. And eventually, Dr. Jones walked in, and he knocked my freaking socks off. Here's another thing about angels that I didn't know before this. Angels can be sexy. Me and Dr. Jones have a thing going on. It was actually just me having a thing going on with myself, and that thing was that I wanted to have Dr. Jones's babies. Now, he did nothing at all to provoke this really inappropriate sexual response, but I had just been waiting for so long, and he was warm, and he had obviously read my dad's chart, and he listened to the good angels, and I just wanted to throw myself at him and say, Dr. Jones, oh, heal me, Dr. Jones, medicate me, Dr. Jones. Dr. Jones, tie me up with your stethoscope and fuck me into a coma. I want a room of my own here at hospice, and I want you to climb into that adjustable bed in your black scrubs and hold me tight against your muscled body, and I want you to give me an injection, Dr. Jones. Oh, medicate me and do it on a schedule so I never have to ask for anything else ever again. It is alarming how arousing simple competence is when you've just been screaming into the void. It can just walk in with thick hair and expensive sneakers and remember you from when you went to grade school together, true story, and be totally appropriate in his chaste condolences, the one-armed hug, so good to see you again, sorry it's under these circumstances. He is giving nothing but complete professionalism and basic kindness, and it has made me so feral it's all I can do not to take his pants off. I didn't have a crush on Dr. Jones when we were in the talented and gifted program together in the 3rd grade. He was completely off my radar, and I had a crush on everybody, so I'm as shocked about this as you all are. But that sexy angel coming into my life was a religious experience, and I was able to get the sweetest nugget of solace thinking about the veins in his forearms and imagining an alternative life with him. I could let him be the reason that I took a shower. It was such a gift. Dr. Jones, with no fanfare whatsoever, put my dad on the good meds, on a schedule, and my dad never fully regained consciousness again.